I'm a part of an organization called 100 Black Men. And one of the major roles and purposes of that organization is mentoring, trying to affect and influence young people to drive them in a positive direction. And their motto as it relates to mentoring is quote, what they see is what they'll believe, end of quote. And I'm going to talk about a program today that kind of ties in with that because it involves seeing and believing and experiences and training and interaction and development and things of that nature, which basically will and can influence these young people in a positive manner. And this program is called the First T program. That's right, TEE, which applies to golf. And I'm so happy that we got two young men in our community who obviously are avid golfers. And I haven't even asked them that, but I know that they play golf and they like golf and they love golf, but not just from a personal fulfillment angle, because after being golfers, I think they realize how golfing and other elements associated with golfing can impact the lives of young people. So they have, in the process of adapting, and implementing the First T program in Macon County. And that makes me very happy and improving because I understand that they have done it some, but not on the level that they're going to do it now, since they have gotten some support in doing it. And those individuals are Dr. Frank Arnold and Mr. Brian Person. So, let's just talk about yourself. Give us a brief introduction, one by one of yourselves, please.
Well, I grew up in Hawkinsville, Georgia, attended Mercer and University of Georgia, went to medical school in Augusta at the Medical College of Georgia, and moved to Macon in 1985 to begin the practice of general surgery. I did that for almost 35 years and retired a couple of years ago, and working on this project to help me through retirement and help some kids, hopefully.
Absolutely. Right?
Well, I graduated from the University of Georgia. I also attended Mercer Law School, had a brief legal career, and then went to a family commercial real estate and residential real estate firm, stayed there 40-something years. And when Frank approached me last September, I was looking for a little push into retirement. And it was certainly the kind of program that I would be very passionate about. So I ended up retiring, and most of my time now is directed toward the First T.
Right. And it's got even an exciting name. And, so I'm going to just say something that is not just hitting the ball, it's a hidden life skills too. Programs and activities that hopefully will make these young people successful. So just kind of give us an overview of the program, either one.
I'll be glad to. Well, the First T is a golf program, but that's not, it's primarily a child development program using golf as a vehicle. It's First T was founded 25 years ago by a partnership between several different golf organizations, and it's administered by the PGA Tour. It's founded on 9 core values, the things that you would expect: honesty, integrity, respect, responsibility, courtesy, all those sorts of things that we all think can make people better and help them along in life. And that's what First Tee is all about. It's available to any kids from age, well, they really started at 5 and go through age 18. And it's, like I said, it's available for any kids, but we're particularly trying to target underserved kids, at-risk kids that might not have the opportunity to be exposed to golf and some of the good things that go along with golf. That's the focus.
Anything you want to add to that, Brian?
Well, yes, there are actually three parts of the first tee. You have the school system, and I will elaborate a little bit on that. We have provided equipment to all the elementary and middle schools in the Bibb County school system. A PE coach has been trained of the first tee program, and it can now teach the first tee program. So that potentially could expose the first tee to almost 15,000 children. And then the second part of the first tee is called community partnerships. That's where we partner up with other organizations. We provide, once again, the equipment. We facilitate an individual getting trained, and then they will teach the program at their facility. Hopefully the students that they teach will end up in the third program. And that third program is what we call the on-site program. And that will be, we will start that at Bowden Golf Course, excuse me. And when I say on-site, that's when we will actually have classes at the golf course, on the range, on the putting green. We will be teaching golf, but also we will be teaching the core values of the first tee program. So we hope, if things go well, that we will have 3 classes this fall is what our goal is right now.
That is so outstanding. So let me ask you a question. Not on the green, not on the range. How does that work? You know, for example, I know 3 or 4 organizations, youth development organizations, who I think will be interested in supplementing their life skill programs with, with what you all are doing. So how does it work? For example, let's use the Men About Change as an organization. So what if they wanted to say, hey, we're trying to train these young men, blah, blah, blah. So what happens? I mean, you said you provide the equipment, but how does it work mechanically? You know, because I know at some point they're going to go to the range, but it doesn't begin at the range.
Well, the equipment we provide to the schools and to the community programs are things that can be used anywhere. Okay, don't have to be on a golf course. You can do it in a gymnasium. You can do it in any open field, and it involves basically plastic clubs and balls. So, for example, you can use it in a gymnasium, and so they would be exposed there. But if they showed any interest, we will have classes that they'll be able to sign up for. And these classes initially will be held at Bowden. We may expand that over time, but we're going to start at Bowden. And as Brian said, we hope to have 3 classes. And by 3 classes, the first tee does it by age groups. So that would be 3 different age groups for those 3 classes. That's just what we were trying to get done in the fall. In the spring, we plan to have a full schedule, which will include a lot more classes, and hopefully will include a couple of other golf courses that we're talking to. So, and those golf courses will be in different parts of the community. In the community programs we've talked to so far, we've got a definite arrangement with Campus Club. We've met with Next Level. We had a deal with the Boys and Girls Club until they lost their athletic director. So we had to back off a little bit. But we plan to get back with the Boys and Girls Club as soon as they're settled in that aspect. And we're going to identify other organizations like that we can work for. So those programs are a little different than the on course, but hopefully those kids that are exposed in the community programs will want to come to the on course programs.
Oh, that is so outstanding. And one thing, Brian, Since we got a long-lasting relationship, we go back a lot of years. Uh, a lot of people don't realize, particularly adults and leaders and individuals who are involved in trying to better improve the community, don't realize the power of motivation and association and affiliation. And if in fact you can get these young people, you can push that button, to generate their interest. I mean, the result will be nothing short of phenomenal. So, one of the one of the basic principles, they're not doing this anymore, Brian, but one of the basic principles of education is taking a child from the known to the unknown. And I can't think of a better approach, along with other things that the community can do, is to try to begin with identifying items and programs and things and subjects with which these kids are familiar. Then you can take them from there, and then you can apply those 9 or 10 life skills principles that you all are talking about. So I applaud the program. So how is the curriculum incorporated into the training?
Well, I mean, it's just the coaches, each of the coaches, either in the schools or the community programs or the own course coaches, are trained to discuss these things as they're teaching the kids golf. And
Wow.
it's so they're trained. There's a definite curriculum, and they're trained to try to intertwine these lessons with the golf lessons as well. And so that's really the whole idea. There have been a couple of golfers that went on to great things in golf that started with the first tee. There are a couple of players on the PGA Tour right now that their first exposure to golf was first tee. But there are many, many more that were affected more by the life lessons than the golf lessons, if you see what I mean.
I do see what you mean. I see exactly what you mean.
Alex, a good way to kind of look at the first tee is not as a golf program. It is a youth development program with the vehicle being golf. So I always want to emphasize more of the youth development than the golf is the vehicle to teach these core values to these young people. Now, we would love that if they fall in love with golf and want to keep playing golf, and that's just an added benefit to me of the program.
Well, that applies from the known to the unknown that we talked about.
There you go.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And then golf has gained a lot of popularity over the years, particularly as it relates to the underserved. With Tiger, let's just be honest about it. He has brought some attention to golf and toward golf that many of these underserved individuals would not have realized. And I really, really do like Steph Curry. I mean, I understand, although he's a basketball player, he's got a lot of respect. But I understand he won some kind of amateur golf tournament or something of that nature last week. So I just applaud. You got to have some kind of vehicle, and you really, in order to get their attention. I remember one time my daddy just hit me upside the head. I was sitting in the living room, and my mama said, "Havisham, why you hit that boy like that?" And my daddy said, "To get his attention." I got, so that ever since then, I have realized and I have known the importance of attention getting and of getting someone's attention. So, I think that would be an excellent approach to doing that. Well, let's talk a little bit about, again, more about the criteria, who you want involved, how can they be involved? What areas of the community, if there are specific areas, what kind of organizations and or institutions that you want involved? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay, well, let me give you a little background information. The way that the PGA Tour, which is the entity that administers this program, the way they want you to get started is to form a corporation and obtain not-for-profit status, which we have done. Our corporation is called Macon Hope, and we are we've been through multiple stages. We're pretty much in the fundraising stage, and we're also very, very close to meeting all the requirements to obtain a First Tee chapter. And in fact, we have just about completed our application, and hopefully the First Tee will have our application within the next week or so. And once they act on that, we will officially become First Tee. As Brian has talked about, I mean, we're already into the school system, every elementary and middle school in the Bibb County school system. We're already in with several of the community programs. Most of these are after school programs for underserved kids. And that's where we really hope to make some progress. And that is still a work in progress. We've got other groups we want to talk to and get involved. And we want them to be exposed at their own facilities as much as possible, but we hope that will lead them to the bigger picture, which is, and where they, the exposure they'll get in the schools or the community programs is somewhat limited. Where we can really make an impact is, the kids that we get in the own course program. As far as the impact is concerned, just to give you an example, the Augusta chapter of First Tee, which has been around for a while, has 500 kids in the own course program. The Golden Isles chapter, which serves Glenn County and McIntosh County, they have 950 kids in the own course program. So we think that this can make a significant impact. In fact, we have a long-term goal of having 500 kids in 5 years.
Oh, wow. That's absolutely nothing short of phenomenal. Well, now, what would you solicit from the community, any elements and all elements of the community as it relates to support? Well, how can the community support this initiative? And then we'll talk a little later about how to learn more about it.
Well, as I said, we're in the fundraising. We're in the fundraising phase right now, so we would love to have any help with that we can. But I think really it's more a lot of word of mouth. If we can get First Tee name out there, people can understand what it is and what it can accomplish, then I think that, as much as anything, is important to our success. I mean, they have to learn to trust the program and become part of it. And I think that'll go a long way toward what we need to happen within the community.
Alex, we've been I'm not going to say at a disadvantage, but until we become an official First Tee, we are limited with how much we can use their name. And, for the last 12 months, we've been Macon Hope. And, what is Macon Hope? Okay, that is our organization to get to the next step of being a First Tee. And we really feel like once we become a First Tee, then with that name so well known throughout the city, the state, the country, the universe for that matter, because First Tee is all over. I feel like that we almost have achieved a certain amount of trust just there, that we have gone through the process of becoming a First Tee, which is a very prestigious organization. And I think we will have, I'm not saying we don't have credibility. I think it will just add to us by being officially a First Tee chapter.
Well, is there anything that, I mean, I know you all got it handled, but is there anything from a community perspective where influential people like Alex Habersham can can help you with the initiative? Or?
Well, you're already doing that by doing this and
Okay.
getting our name out there some. And, you know, that's incredible because we need to try to reach all corners of the community and not just one section. And you've helped us do that. You've pointed us in the right direction with some other people, and we appreciate that. And that's very helpful.
If I may add, Alex, you asking what can the community do? What can other people do? Is right now we have a major focus on these community partnerships. So any assistance you or the community can help us, point us in the right direction. You need to talk to this person. You need to talk to that person. That's how we're trying to get to organizations, not just the well-known, but the ones that we may not know that we should have a relationship with. So any introduction to other organizations that you feel are a fit, now that is important to us.
Well, there's an old saying, you can't begin to realize how much I appreciate you guys, for establishing this initiative. Look, man, it takes a village, and the more understanding that the whole community has of that, the better off we are. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care where you live. I don't care how popular your name is, what kind of car you drive, what kind of house you live in, how much education you got. It still takes a village. Yep. And in order for this community to be successful, we need people like you all and others who understand and appreciate that we've got a responsibility to the community, and everybody benefits. So if we could just kind of have that concept permeating throughout the community, using you guys as an example, I shudder when I think how impactful that can be toward the community. So I'm hopeful that what you all are doing will serve as a catalyst for other individuals. Now, Dr. Arnold just said he was a surgeon for 35 years, and you just said that you left a law practice to sell real estate, so it had to be fruitful. You just so my point is that you all don't have to do this. Well, you certainly should, but then the truth of the matter is we all have to. When you think about it, when you just understand that we got a responsibility to the community, to the future, to the growth of young people, to safety, to education, and if more people like you two guys will realize that and initiate projects where the rubber meets the road, I shudder to think. Because this community is already on the brink of phenomenal greatness. But I think that activities like these, like this, and individuals like you all can put growth in this community at warp speed if we can get more.
Well, I would like to say, Brian and I, like he said, we've been doing this for a year now. All the things we felt like we needed to do. And everybody we've run across, from the mayor to the school superintendent, to the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club, to many other groups. One that comes to mind is Hope for the Heart of Central Georgia. We've talked with some of those people. Everybody has been very positive and very supportive, and we appreciate it very much. We couldn't have done it. I mean, the first thing we had to do when we started to do this was get a golf course. And so the first person we went to see was Mayor Miller, and he was very supportive. So we're grateful for everybody that's helping us do what we're trying to do, and hopefully we can have some impact.
Yeah, Brian, I'm reminded of Charlie Jones, and Charlie's favorite expression was "do the right thing because it's the right thing to do."
That's right.
And
A
that's
great expression.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you all are doing. I'm most of it. Now, how can one get in contact and learn more about the program, or find out information, or ask questions?
Well, really, like I said, we've got Macon Hope, and we have an address, and I'm happy to give you my email address or even my phone number if people want to text or send emails and learn more about it. And if they want to give us some money, we'll take that.
Yeah.
But we're happy I'm happy to provide that. And
go ahead and provide it.
Okay. Well, our address is P.O. Box 26912, and it's 31221 is the zip, Macon, Georgia. My email address is mfrankarnold@gmail.com, so it's not too hard to remember. mfrankarnold@gmail.com, and I will be glad to communicate with anybody that way.
That's outstanding. This is
I'll be glad to offer my email, bbpersons2554@gmail.com.
And we'll throw this across the screen so people will get a chance to catch
Sure.
it. So, this is a call to action. I'm your host, Alex Habersham. Have been interviewed two phenomenal guys who thought it would not be robbery to initiate a program that's going to be beneficial to the entire community, particularly the underserved community, in the persons of Dr. Frank Arnold and Attorney Brian Person. I'm your host, Alex Habersham. Thank you guys for what you do. Like I said, it takes a village, and you all are certainly a part of it, and you're making a difference in the community. Have a great day.
www.makingblackpages.com.
Get ready, Central Georgia.
The 2023-2024 edition
of the Macon Middle Georgia Black Pages
is coming soon. Check your listing. Visit
MaconBlackPages.com.